Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're gonna do kind of a planner, really quick update, and also a flip through in my Hobonichi Cousin Avec for the month of April. So we're gonna be looking at my year at a glance, my monthly spread, my weekly spreads, and really quickly all of my daily spreads. So if you would be interested to see all of the spreads that I have in my Hobonichi Cousin, and then also just a really quick update for one of the planners that I originally had said I was going to do in 2024, then go ahead and keep watching. All right, so we're going to put this one to the side, and we're first going to talk about this. Now, in my 2024 kind of planner lineup, I had said I had bought this Hobonichi notebook that I was going to use for like a reading journal. And I have since changed it. So I wanted a place to list all of the books that I read, what my rankings were, kind of what my thoughts were on them. And I realized it doesn't really work the way that I was intending. I thought having just a blank notebook would give me a lot of freedom to figure out what I wanted to write and all that kind of stuff. And I think it had kind of the opposite effect, is that I had so much room and I just either didn't know what to write, or I didn't want to have like a full, all of this space kind of just set unused. So I decided this wasn't really working. Maybe it'll work again in the future, but for my reading taste right now, it just wasn't working. So I did end up getting this CleverFox reading journal, and that is what I have been using since. So all of the month of April, this is what I have been using. So I'm going to really quickly flip through, and then we're going to dive into the Hobonichi Cousin. So if you are a reader, or even if you have not like reading taste, they have a bunch of different notebooks. So they have like planners, they have reading journals, they have, fitness journals, blank like dot grid, I think. Like they have a bunch of different stuff. So if you're ever interested, then definitely check out CleverFox. I actually have a code with them. I'm not getting any kind of money or anything for this. If you would like a discount on CleverFox, then I'll put the code down below for you to use if that would be something that you would be interested in. But back to the reading journal. So what I really like about it is it already kind of identifies things really quickly for you. So you have your index of the pages of like where you can find that specific book in this little notebook. So on page 12, you'll find this book, and then you have a really quick like a rating scale of what you read and how you rated it. You have a reading log. I actually read more than what a typical person I think reads. So I ended up in like January or March, I read 12 books, but there was only room for 8. So I ended up splitting them in half so that way I can make room for all of the books that I want to read. So I had to modify this really quickly, but you have a reading log for all of the books that you read. You have a daily tracker, so you can kind of annotate all of the days that you did read. Then you have books to read. So I have like a list of all of the books that I want to read. Reading list, which I'm not doing. This is basically just listing all of the books that you have read and then the start stop dates. I'm not really using that. I don't think it's beneficial for me. But this is the thing that I think I like the most, is this little piece right here. So what I really like is you have page count. You have obviously the title, the author, if it's fiction, nonfiction, your genre, the days you started, you stopped, when it was published, and then you have this little graphic here. This, I think, has definitely helped me figure out what I'm rating things, because I have realized if I, have the enjoyment down low, if I don't like the writing, if I don't care for the characters, then obviously I'm not going to make that a 4-star. I'm not going to make it a 5-star, because obviously if you didn't have as much enjoyment, then you probably didn't rank it very high. But I really like this because I can visually see this without reading anything else, and I know exactly what the book was about and what I felt about it. So I like this. And then you have this other page of just like thoughts and notes. And so sometimes this is blank and sometimes it's like this. So what I have really enjoyed is I go onto Pinterest for the books that I do enjoy. I go onto Pinterest and I'll print out in like an A5 size a little picture of the book and like what other people have used to kind of capture what the book entails. And this, along with this, really helps me remember what the book was about, how I felt about it, the characters, and all of that. So this is definitely something that I really, really, really enjoy. And I think this has helped me greatly kind of keep track and kind of reminisce on the books that I read and what I thought about them. So you do have some questions on this side. So you have, what did you think of the book? What will you take away from it? What was the aim of the book, and how well did the author fulfill it? And then, would you recommend this book to others? Who was the target audience? And then 1-sentence book review. So sometimes I fill these out, and then sometimes I just don't. I think having this piece and then like a picture over here really helps me remember how I felt about the book, what the book was about, and all that kind of stuff. So that is my really quick update on my reading journal. So now we're going to dive into the Hobonichi Cousin. So this is going to be we're going to do a flip through for the month of April. This is my year at a glance. In this year at a glance view, I only list on these like columns here for the month of April. If it has a like little dot, that means that there's a picture associated on that page. And then I do have anything that's kind of something that I might want to go back on and remember. I'll put like a little keyword on this, but I don't obviously have every single line with something, because some days there's just like nothing really big going on that I need to remember later on. I'm only capturing those like big ticket things that I might want to look back on later. So it makes it a lot easier if I'm trying to find when I bought my new couch. I know it was in 2024. I can look on here for new couch and I say, oh, there was a new couch. I bought that on March the 8th, instead of trying to go like line by line and finding just that one word. I like having it this way. So this is how I'm doing my year at a glance. And so far for the first, 5 months of 2024, it has worked out very well. Now we're going to go to the monthly page. And for this one, I used a Coffee Monsters Co. monthly sticker kit. I do have over here a no spend. So every day that has been like dotted in, that means that I did not buy anything out of the norm. So that's coffee, that's clothes, that's makeup, or anything else that I don't really need. Those are the days that are marked. So I did not make any excess spending. Then we have my to-do list. This is kind of hit or miss. Sometimes I actually fill this out and sometimes I don't. But this month I did list out all of the videos that I wanted to do and whether I did them. And then we have just my normal glance of everything that happened during the month of April. And now we're going to flip to the daily pages. So the first week in April was this spread right here. And in this spread, I ended up using some washi that I wanted to try to use up. So this down here, this bottom washi, is probably my absolute favorite washi that I own. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the foil or just like because it's got journaling, it's got pens, it's got notebooks, it's got all that kind of thing, fountain pens. This and the reading washi is probably my all-time favorite washi that Coffee Monsters Co. has put out. So I have this at the bottom, and then I have just a little brown washi up top. So obviously this is a brown theme. And then I have these other little washi, like it's a washi roll where you can like tear the like individual pictures off of the washi. And so I have those kind of scattered throughout. So that was the first week of April. The second week of April, I went diving into really old washi that I had that I bought off of Amazon probably 2, maybe even more years ago. And I found this orange like flower theme and ended up finding a Tombow that was kind of close to that color. And that is what I went for on this week. I do have stamps that I got from Coffee Monsters Co. And then these are the chalk stamp. I can't remember what it was. I have a video on my stamps and the ink that I use. I'll try to link it either down below or in the cards here. But I did have a orange ink pad for my stamping that I did here. So I have this top little section is for books. This bottom section is for my meals. And that was this week. And then on the 15th through the 21st, I kind of shopped my stash for this week. So I found little stickers and labels and things like that from my already kind of used up sticker kits, but those were the leftovers. So I kind of looked through to find stickers that were in the same like greenish theme and ended up using that. And I love this look. I love muted, neutral type themes. That's like my go-to theme style. So this definitely spoke to me. Really, really, really enjoyed this. And then we have the week of the 22nd through the 28th. This one I did not have any washi whatsoever. I did also end up using some old labels from old sticker kits. And then I just used this one was a mild liner, I believe, to break out what I read and what I ate. And then that was a very simplistic week for this week. And then this would be the last week of April. So this is April the 29th and the 30th, and then the beginning of May the 1st. I went ahead and did no breakout of my reading or my meals starting this week. It just wasn't something that I felt like I needed to continue. I liked the idea of documenting what I ate, but realistically, I just wasn't keeping track very well. So then I had big like gaps where like this entire day I didn't even fill anything out, and then I just had more gaps as the weeks progressed, and it just didn't seem like something I needed to continue going forward. So this was just a plain blue-gray theme with some washi that I had, I think, bought off of, this was either off of Amazon or Temu. I can't remember where this came from, but I do have this washi down below, and that was the end of this weekly spread. So now we're going to jump really quickly into my daily spreads. And I'm not really going to have a lot to say on my daily spreads because for the month of April, I didn't really have a lot of extra stuff that went on. So I don't really have a lot to kind of point out. They're all just basically just, you know, me writing down thoughts on what happened during my week. So, but on this page at the beginning of every month, I will go ahead and kind of do a graphic out of my StoryGraph app. And this is the amount of pages that I read because I'm a big reader and I like to keep track of what I'm reading. So we have in April, I read 4,922 pages. There were 11 books. I had one DNF, and overall it was a really good reading month. I really did enjoy this reading month, and pretty much every book that I picked up I liked and or loved. So other than this one, did not like the DNF or did not like this book. I DNF'd it. So in this spread, or on this first day, I did flip into using my Diamine Bilberry fountain ink. I ended up using this in my TWSBI fountain pen that I don't really use very often, and I felt like using it on April the 1st, so that is what this is. And we have some washi at the bottom. I continued on with that same fountain pen ink, so you have a little purple theme. Had some storms. We had me not being kind of tired, which I'm not a morning person, so that's usually me in the mornings every morning. And then we have, I just wanted to use up, I found some big stickers. There were a lot of things that didn't really happen on this Thursday or this Friday, so I decided to fill up my space on my page with some big stickers. We have the 6th and the 7th. My weekends, I usually don't have a lot to write down because those are my errand days, and usually there's not a whole lot going on. It's either errands or cleaning, so there's really not a lot for me to write about. We did have on the 8th, that was the solar eclipse. I did not go out and see it. My kids did, for both while they were in school, in the middle school and the elementary school. They were given classes, so they got to go and experience the solar eclipse. I was stuck working and did not have glasses, so I did not see it, but they got to see it. I guess that's the important thing. They expanded their knowledge. And we have, there was a Sephora sale. I apparently was exhausted after working out. I worked on site. I went to using the Uni Jetstream, which is a ballpoint pen. I am not really a fan of ballpoint pens in this book. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't like the way it looks. And so I ended up switching after these 2 days back into a different pen. And I did not use the Uni Jetstream going forward. I did over here. I had a big book haul, and I am now on a no buy because I have way too many books. And then we went back to a regular pen. This was a Sarasa Mark-On. Didn't really like that one. I tried that one out. It just wasn't, I didn't like the way it felt. But I tried it out for a few days. Nothing really happened on these two. I had to go and work on site. I really am liking, you'll see, I think from here on out, I really do like this because it points out what this book or what that page is kind of really tying, or big events that happened during that day. So I know just really quickly by looking at it that this is on site, this is Friday, and then you have running errands on Saturday. I was exhausted on Sunday. Back to work, it's Monday. I have my dental procedure. I had to get a crown put on. So that was kind of the first initial filing my tooth down, all that kind of stuff. For 2 hours, I was sitting in that chair, and this is what I felt like afterwards. I was not in the mood to do anything but lay and relax because it was stressful. I will say I felt like a diva because while I was getting my crown put on, I had my noise canceling headphones on and I had my phone in my hand, and then they also gave me sunglasses so that way I didn't have like water spray or anything kind of disturbing my face. And so I felt like I was like a huge diva sitting in this dentist chair with my, noise canceling headphones, sunglasses, and a phone in my hand. It just, from the outside looking in, I probably looked ridiculous, but that was my dental procedure. I had an order from Coffee Monsters Co. came in. This was, my daughter had her psychology test results. And so this was my little note sheet that I took while I was actually talking to the psychologist or psychiatrist, I mean. And so I wanted to keep my notes. I now have the full report, but I wanted to keep my notes, and I just used some washi to kind of tip it in so that way I have it forever. If I ever need to go back, I have my official like initial notes from that meeting. So that was on the 24th, worked on site on the 25th. Thank goodness it's Friday. It's the weekend. I just had a good evening. This was kind of a basic day. Good morning, good afternoon. I didn't really have anything happening on these days, so I didn't have anything to really call out on that specific day. And then on the 30th, I had to work all day at my office because we were having a leadership on site all day. And so I got to sit in a room with a bunch of people and hear everybody complain for 8 hours. So that was amazing. But that is the end. That was a quick rundown of the month of April. Like I said, I didn't really have a lot picture-wise or like formatting differences in April. So there really wasn't a lot to kind of point out, but that gives you an idea of how I use my planners. So you have an idea of how I use my Hobonichi Cousin, and because I use it functionally. So I use my planner. I time block what I do. I use it very functional. I'm more of a minimalist when it comes to stickers. And so I think this is a really great idea, or this is a really good example of how you could use your Hobonichi Cousin if you're in the same kind of decorating style as me. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Definitely, if you're interested in CleverFox, use the code down below. Definitely save you some money if you can. They have a huge variety of all sorts of different planners that you could probably find something to suit your needs on their website. So definitely check them out. And with that, thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please do so. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.